Καλησπέρα. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Σας ευχαριστώ όλους όσοι προετοιμάσατε αυτό τον τόσο χρήσιμο κύκλο εκπαίδευσης των μελλοντικών στελεχών των ΕΛΤΑ και για τη χαρά που μου δίνετε να είμαι μαζί σας και να σας πω δύο κουβέντες. Είναι αυτονόητο ότι βεβαίως ότι ευχαριστώ και συγχαίρω τους εργαζόμενους στη Διεύθυνση Διασφάλισης Απορρίτου Ταχυδρομικών Υπηρεσιών της αρχής μας, της ADAE. ADAE σημαίνει Αρχή Διασφαλίσεως του Απορρίτου των Επικοινωνιών, για τη συμβολή τους στην εκπαίδευση όσων εργάζονται στις εταιρείες παροχής ταχυδρομικών υπηρεσιών, στο κρισιμότατο τομέα της διασφάλισης του απορρίτου των επικοινωνιών.
In this crucial sector of securing communication security and privacy, postal routes are a crucial path that we should not undermine in these days. Online on site. And the process of sending letters has begun from the ancient times, but it has diminished radically during the modern times, where emails and WhatsApp and social media have increased the way we exchange letters now. There is a restricted vocabulary now. There's a restriction in time that we have to devote to each other, and we no longer search for human communication, but for speed. This is a communication that has personal confession to make. During the long period of lockdown, because of COVID, when everything is being challenged, the days when I receive a package, even from abroad or from a local post, when I see on my post these letters and parcels that I have ordered, I realize how important this silent and communication means, that electronic trade, e-commerce. I wonder if this period, of rapid technological advances, postal communication pathways in our routines, in our daily lives is so important. How important it is for our new credit card to arrive safely and on time, away from discreet and bad eyes. How it is important for us to have the communication that we have received a job or a welfare benefit, and how this preconditions security that what we have in this envelope will arrive to its sender without being lost on the way, and is in line with the developments. This is what the Hellenic Authority for Communication Security and Privacy is doing, ensuring the proper function of the communication via post, and joining together people who love what they do in this sector. This sector of confidentiality in communication and posts is very important in our lives, and this is demonstrated by the importance granted to this by the constitution of the country itself. In the very constitution of the Hellenic government, it is underlined that the freedom to exchange communication and letters is inviolable. It is protected by the constitution itself and cannot be restricted even by law. The only thing the law can do is to restrict it in case of important crimes, with the Attorney General only being allowed to lift this secrecy in very specific cases of security breach. In organizations that work with the Hellenic Authority, are independent and do not abide to rules or commands by ministers or public services. Two more words about what the Hellenic Authority for Communication Security and Privacy does. It examines reports, issues mandatory regulations, recommendations to providers if there are violations, and it imposes sanctions. The sanctions imposed by ADAE is even on state services, such as the National Information Service, and it ensures communication security and privacy for the postal service. It constitutes two departments for the communication of postal services and postal letters. And this is enshrined by a regulation of the official journal of the Hellenic government. A decision issued by the Hellenic Authority, and violation of this leads to sanctions by ADAE. This regulation has a clear provision for all the legislation that need to be followed, all regulations or recommendations, the vulnerable parts that need to be underlined, the securities that need to be followed, the obligations for coastal enterprises, review procedure by ADAE, and the sanctions that may be imposed. This even may be part of the training of ADAE employees and their education for postal service employees. I don't want to tire you more. Thank you very much for your inviting me here. It was a great joy for me. I hope very much for being here. You are right that the role of the postal department in this difficult